Getting a tax invoice from an eBay purchase is a straightforward process that can be completed in a few steps. To begin, it is essential to understand what a tax invoice is and why it is necessary. A tax invoice is a document that provides proof of purchase and is required for tax purposes, such as claiming input tax credits or deducting expenses from taxable income. The first step to getting a tax invoice from an eBay purchase is to check if the seller is registered for tax. This information can be found on the seller's eBay profile or in the item description. If the seller is not registered for tax, they may not be able to provide a tax invoice. Once it is confirmed that the seller is registered for tax, the next step is to contact the seller directly. This can be done through eBay's messaging system, which allows buyers to send messages to sellers. The buyer should request a tax invoice from the seller, providing their name, address, and the order number. The seller will then provide the tax invoice, which will include the seller's tax registration number, the buyer's name and address, a description of the items purchased, and the total amount paid. The tax invoice may be sent to the buyer via email or through eBay's messaging system. It is essential to verify the tax invoice to ensure it contains all the necessary information. The buyer should check that the invoice includes the seller's tax registration number, the date of the purchase, and a description of the items purchased. The buyer should also ensure that the invoice is addressed to them and includes their correct name and address. In some cases, the seller may charge a fee for providing a tax invoice. This fee should be clearly stated in the item description or communicated to the buyer before the purchase is made. Buyers should be aware of any additional fees and factor them into their purchase decision. Best practice is to keep a record of all tax invoices, including those from eBay purchases. This will make it easier to claim input tax credits or deduct expenses from taxable income when filing tax returns. Buyers should also ensure that they comply with all tax laws and regulations when claiming tax invoices. In conclusion, getting a tax invoice from an eBay purchase is a simple process that requires communication with the seller and verification of the invoice. By following these steps and best practices, buyers can ensure they receive a valid tax invoice and comply with all tax laws and regulations.